Hi, this is Menno from AmazingJerusalem.com on Rothschild Boulevard in Tel Aviv. Let's go. I think it's fair to say that everyone who visits Tel Aviv walks on Rothschild Boulevard. Whether it's a local tourist or a tourist from abroad, you will walk here. I'm coming from the oldest part of Tel Aviv, Beit, the first buildings of Tel Aviv. This is also a part where you can still see buildings from the 20s, 30s of the last century. We just passed one. If you scroll to the right, or you move your camera or tablet to the right, and a bit to the back, you see a little building. Then you see the bottom of a huge tower, and here on our right again an older building. This is how Tel Aviv can afford to renovate the buildings from that period, because if someone's taking care of such a building, he's going to get the rights of these high-rise buildings. So now if you look to the right, a bit forward, this is known as the castle or the Kgb House. This was housing the Russian embassy until 1967, the Six-Day War. Beautiful building, and they can remove the rooftop. And this is either to remove furniture, or some say it was used by the owners, which were Jews, of course. It's called the Devine house. It was used to be able to have a sukkah in the house, to remove the house or to remove the roof, so you can see the stars while having your food. Beautiful building. The Russians actually, they were very close to Israel after the declaration of the State of Independence. It was the Americans who were quite fast saying, listen, you got our back. It was the Iranians who came in second, but the first official support, the first country, was the Soviet Union. So in 1967 it changed, and America became a closer ally than the Russian. Rothschild Boulevard is named after, what's his name, Benjamin Rothschild, a person who was deeply involved in Zionism at the end of the 19th century. He spent a lot of money to not only buy land here, but also to educate people to work on the land. He was the one who paid for the first settlement, Rishon LeZion. He also built a winery there, like he did in Zichron Yaakov. He was, without him, there wouldn't be any large wine industry, at least from that period. So we got a very nice boulevard. As I said, everyone is walking here. It's 1.5 kilometers from Beit, from Herzl Street to Habima Square. And today I want to show you not just to walk on Rothschild, but take a little detour. But before I take a left here, I want you to look to your right. It's closed now. There's the Poly Bar on number 62, which is a very nice bar. I will put a link in the comments. They have happy hour as well, where you sit outside. It's very nice, so highly recommended if you are in need of a drink. So now we went left. We left Rothschild. We will be back there in a few hundred meters, but I want to show you what you can see if you make a small detour. We reached a little street called Bezalel Yaffe. He was one of the founders of Tel Aviv, a Russian Zionist. He was close to Meir Dizengoff. He actually took over when Meir Dizengoff became the mayor. He became the director of the development, real estate or land development company, Geula. They built the second neighborhood of Tel Aviv, Nachalat Binyamin. He was more or less in charge of Tel Aviv becoming a city. Because we like to say Tel Aviv was a city in 1909, it was just a few houses. And it became a city later, and Bezalel Yaffe was one of the persons who were instrumental for that. We're walking westward. If I would have walked eastwards on the street, oh no, sorry, leave that. That was another street I wanted you to say something. Let me cross the street. They're building, and I think what they're building here on the right, on the corner, if my information is correct, is going to be apartments for the Norman Hotel, which you will see in a moment. So this detour so far was maybe not worth it, but that might change when we arrive at this little square. It's called Albert Square. It's to commemorate the friendship of the first mayor of Tel Aviv, Mayor Dizengoff, and King Albert I of Belgium. So it's a tiny square, and maybe you saw it already, otherwise scroll a bit to the left. You have the Pagoda House, just a beautiful little square here. I don't know if you're able to read it, but on my left, if you scroll down, you see the sign of the Albert Square, and who was Albert? He, and I think it was his wife even more, they had a special interest in Judaism, studying religious texts, and I think they were the only royals who came to visit here before Israel was an official state. And then on the left it shouts Bauhaus, Bauhaus. In Jerusalem the people build a house for God, and it looks like God built a house for the people here. This is the Norman. This is the boutique hotel of the universe. There's luxury, there's art, there's service. It's known all over the world, and it's just not me that's saying. They actually have like these elections of being the best boutique hotel in the world, and the Norman was elected, I think, more than once. So if you have some money to spend, the Norman Hotel. Actually, it's called, or it's named after Norman Lurie, the father of the current owner. And this Norman was the first person to start with a boutique hotel in Israel. On my right, Café Noir, one of the classics here in Tel Aviv. We're passing Achata Am Street, which is parallel to Rothschild Boulevard. I posted another video called Independence Trail, which is partly on Rothschild Boulevard and on Achat Am Street. They have some beautiful houses which are also completely renovated. So it's a nice video to watch. We reached Rothschild again, so we missed about 200 meters. But we had some pretty sights there. On my right here, Rothschild 65, one of the hotels of the Atlas boutique hotel chain. Very nice hotel, very nice happy hour every day between 5 and 7, so highly recommended hotel. Back on Rothschild Boulevard to show you a bit of Tel Aviv vibes. Tel Avivians love to sit outside, love to get their coffee outside, coffee, sandwiches. So this is one of the bars. They just renewed it, and it's like beginning of noon. What is it? It's a 11:45. So It's not so busy if you're in the weekend here. The grass is packed. You have some acrobatic lessons if you want. You can see his Instagram on the right. And here is another boulevard cafe, Cafe Rothschild. Very popular and very Tel Avivian. So that's about it. If I would continue, I would get to the Habima Square. One more thing about the building you'll see on your right. There's a lot of Bauhaus in Tel Aviv, and the Bauhaus, it changed a little from Bauhaus in Germany. Like they made it white. Like we're in a Mediterranean climate here. We made it white, and we built the buildings, or they built the buildings on these stilts, as you can see on the right side. Tel Aviv was packed. They had to build really fast, and by building on these stilts, the breeze of the sea could go through the city, so it gave you some air to breathe. If you walk around Tel Aviv and you see a nice building, then there's a good chance you see something like this on my right now. The Rosenberg House. You can read about its history. The Rosenberg House, by the way, is on the left. On the right, the building I was just talking about is the Engel House, which was the first house in Tel Aviv built on these stilts. And if you want to read about that, you have to go across the corner where the entrance of the building is. This was Menno from AmazingJerusalem.com. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. Or click on a link in the comments to see other videos about Tel Aviv. If you have any questions or requests for a video in Tel Aviv, you can send it to info@amazingjerusalem.com. Hope to see you again. Bye.